Someone DM'd me the other day and said, I make $100,000. Can I afford to live in Montgomery County, Maryland? And my first response wasn't yes or no. It was, who's coming with you and what exactly are you looking for? Because $100,000 in MoCo can feel either comfortable or feel like you're drowning. And the difference comes down to about 3 or 4 decisions you make before you even sign a lease. And nobody breaks this down honestly. They either say it's expensive, good luck, or they sugarcoat it and act like everything's fine. So I'm going to walk you through exactly what $100,000, what it actually looks like here in Montgomery County, Maryland, where your money goes, what you can realistically afford, where to look, and when to be honest with yourself that you might need to adjust your expectations. All real numbers, no fluff. Let's start with what you're actually working with. $100,000 sounds great until Maryland gets its cut. Between federal income tax, Maryland state tax, Montgomery County local tax, Social Security, etc., etc., etc. At least that's what it feels like. Your take home is approximately $67,000 a year. That's about $5,588 a month hitting your bank account. That's what we're working with, not $100,000. $5,588 a month. Everything I'm about to say is based on that number. The first question, what are you looking for? This is one of the first questions I ask anyone who reaches out to me about moving here. Are you looking for an urban neighborhood, walkable, near metro, restaurants, that type of energy? Or are you okay with suburban, more space, quieter, car dependent? Because the answer completely changes what $100,000 gets. If you want urban, downtown Silver Spring, Bethesda, city of Rockville, it's going to be tight. You're probably looking at a 1-bedroom, maybe a 2-bedroom max. Condos are an option, but you need to be very careful with condo fees, because I've seen condo fees in this county that are $600 to $2,000 a month on top of your mortgage. That can dramatically change what your total monthly payment looks like. And a lot of first-time buyers, they don't factor that in and then wonder why they got approved for less than they expected. So your debt to income ratio is a huge factor in what you can actually afford. And condo fees, well, it eats into that directly. So if you're okay with suburban, and I mean the further reaches of the county, your money goes significantly further, but we'll get to the specific neighborhoods in a minute. The second question, who's coming with you? This is where it gets real. Single person, no kids, $100,000, that's doable. Not luxurious, but doable. You can find a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment or a condo, cover your bills, eat well, save a little. You'll need to be intentional, but you won't feel like you're struggling. Couple, dual income combined, $100,000, tighter, but manageable if you're smart about where you live and you don't have childcare costs. Family with kids, single income, $100,000. I'm going to be honest with you, in central Montgomery County, that is not doable. I wouldn't tell you it is, and I wouldn't want you to find out the hard way. And the biggest reason is childcare. Maryland ranks 6th highest in the entire country for childcare costs. The average cost of infant care in Maryland is over $25,000 a year. That's more than $2,100 a month. Even for a preschooler in the Silver Spring area, you're looking at about $1,200 a month. Let me put that into perspective. Your take home is $5,588 a month. One child in infant daycare takes $2,100 of that. You now have $3,488 left for rent or mortgage, your utilities, groceries, car payment, insurance, gas, and everything else. That math does not work in central Montgomery County. It just doesn't. So where does the money actually go? Well, let me walk you through a realistic monthly budget for a single person making $100,000 renting in Montgomery County, Maryland. Monthly take home, $5,588. Rent a 1-bedroom apartment, Silver Spring or Wheaton area. You're going to be paying $1,800 to $2,100 a month. Utilities, we're talking Pepco, gas, water, internet, $250 to $400 a month, depending on the season. Car payment, $350 to $500, depending on the type of car, or just buy your car cash. Car insurance, $150 to $200 a month. Gas, $150 to $200 a month. Groceries, $400 to $500 a month. Phone, $80 to $100 a month. Health insurance, if not employer covered, $200 to $400 a month. Subscription, miscellaneous item, $100 to $150 a month. So your total estimated expenses, $3,480 to $4,550. What's left? $1,038 to $2,108. That remaining money is your savings, your emergency fund, your social life, your student loan payments, your I want to actually enjoy living here money. If you're on the lower end of that range in a pricier apartment with a car payment and higher utilities, you're looking at about $1,000 of breathing room. That's not broke, but it's not comfortable either. One unexpected expense, a car repair, a medical bill, and you're stressed. Now, if you're on the higher end, cheaper rent, no car payment, employer covered health insurance, you're closer to $2,000 left over. That actually feels okay. So the point is, it's not about the salary. It's about the decisions around the salary. Can you buy a home on $100,000? So here's where expectations need to be managed. The median sold price in Montgomery County right now, $606,750. On a $100,000 salary with 5% down, a 30-year mortgage at roughly 6.5%, you're looking at a monthly payment of around $3,800 to $4,200, including property taxes and insurance, of course, depending on what that is. That's 68 to 75% of your take-home pay. That is not happening. No lender is approving that. And even if they did, you'd be house poor. Realistically, on $100,000 with a decent credit, manageable debt, most lenders will approve you somewhere in the $300,000 to $380,000 range. And in central Montgomery County, Silver Spring, Bethesda, Rockville, that gets you a condo, maybe a small one with a low condo fee. So I've had a client making around that range who had to adjust their expectations significantly. Ended up in a smaller space than they originally pictured. It's not what anyone wants to hear, but it's better to know now than to find out during the loan process. And this is important. You have options. Where should you look on $100,000? So if you're set on Montgomery County, but $100,000 is your number, here's where I would point you to. If you're okay with suburban life, I'll point you to Clarksburg, Damascus, Burtonsville. You'll find more house for less money. Townhomes and even some single family homes starts to become realistic in the 350 to 450 range in those areas. So the trade-off is a longer commutes, of course, depending on where you're going. But if you're remote or hybrid, that might not even matter. Now, just outside MoCo, Frederick County is worth a serious look. You can get significantly more space and house for your money. And the commute down 270, it's doable in some days, depending on the time you leave, of course. So if you're not doing 5 days a week, it's doable. If you're doing it 5 days a week, you'll feel that stress. Prince George's County, specifically areas near the MoCo border, Beltsville, it gives you proximity at a lower price point. Charles County is another option if you're willing to go further out. So the condo route in central Montgomery County, if you want to be in Silver Spring, Wheaton, or Rockville, a condo in the $280 to $380 range can work on $100,000 income. But read the condo docs carefully. You want to check the HOA fees, the reserves, any special assessments, because I've seen condo fees eat up what looks like an affordable purchase, and it turned into a monthly payment that's higher than a townhome further north. The honest answer, what salary actually feels comfortable? So I'm going to give you my honest personal opinion. This isn't financial advice. It's me telling you what I see from working with buyers and living here. For a single person in Montgomery County, $100,000, it is survivable. You can make it work, but it's not comfortable in the way most people imagine when they hear $100,000 salary. In my experience, $150,000 is where a single person starts to actually breathe in Montgomery County. That gives you about $8,000 a month take home, roughly $2,400 more than a $100,000 earner. That extra $2,400 is the difference between living here and enjoying living here. For a family, you really want dual income totaling $150,000 minimum. If you have kids in daycare, $175,000 to $200,000 combined is where it starts to feel like you're not constantly doing math in your head at the grocery store. These numbers, it might sound high if you're coming from a lower cost of living area, but this is the reality of living near the nation's capital. The jobs pay more, but so does everything else. But is it worth it? I know this video might feel like a gut punch if $100,000 is your number. So let me end with this. I usually tell people, yes, Montgomery County is worth it, considering what you get access to. The school system, even with its issues, it is still one of the best in the country. The county runs an incredible network of services for residents that most people don't even know about until they live here. Healthcare programs, food assistance, job resources, mental health support. I'm constantly discovering new services that the county provides. The parks, the diversity, the job market, the proximity to DC, all of that is real. But worth it only works if you can afford it without being stressed every month. And the honest way to figure that out is to run your specific numbers, not just hear that it's expensive and hope for the best, because we all have different expenses. And if you want to sit down and figure out what your specific budget looks like and which neighborhoods make sense for your situation, I do this every day. Links in the description. And if you want to know more about what it's actually like to live here, watch my pros and cons of living in Montgomery County video right here. I break down everything, the good, the bad, even my electric bills. So I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.